Hello and welcome to the Student StarCraft AI Tournament broadcast. This is Nightcat. I'll be your host for today. I want to give a quick shout out to Chobo for casting the losers round 1 and 2. And today we are going to be covering rounds 3 and 4 of the losers bracket. Starting us off, we have Beta Star spawning as the purple Protoss up at the top of Destination. And down at the bottom, we have Xiao Yi spawning as the yellow Terran. And again, the losers bracket is best of 3, whereas the winners bracket up until the finals was best of 5. So these series will be a little bit shorter than the previous seasons. We're going to do both the winners round, or sorry, the losers round 3 and 4, and it looks like Xiao Yi with the scout has spotted this proxy 2 gate from Beta Star. And maybe a little bit of an overreaction. I think if you were going to attack the gateways, this is a good amount of SCVs to pull. Actually, it's still too many to pull, all of them, but it will prevent this proxy from doing too much, and we'll see how Beta Star is going to transition out of this. It did start a cybernetics core, but it's going to need to replace the gateways that it has lost, and it hasn't started that just yet. Xiao Yi going ahead and throwing down a bunker. So after deflecting that proxy 2 gate, it's just going to go into its regularly scheduled build, it looks like. And we have Beta Star here going ahead and now getting the gateway in the main here. So it looks like everything will shake out about normal, just a little bit later Dragoons from Beta Star than you might normally see. Yeah, at this point in the tournament, there are 7 AIs left. While we have a little bit of downtime here, there was that proxy. I wanted to talk about the bracket a little bit more. So we've got 6 on screen here, and then the 7th one is Crazier that's waiting in round 6, I believe it is, of the losers bracket. So like the winner of this is going to go on to play Purple Wave. The winner of the next series will go on to play Banana Brain, and then the winner of those series will go on to play each other and for the right to play Crazio for the right to get back up into the finals. There we go. Didn't go away the first time I did that. So Beta Star here doing a little bit of a dive. Gets one Dragoon past the bunker. And actually, the one that originally got through, I think, got away. That's the one I think did the loop there, but the other one got caught. So Beta Star looking to be really aggressive here. Interesting choice to get the command center on the high ground when you have the bunker at the natural in place. A lot of SCVs pulled. It seems like Xiao Yi's like decision making with the SCV pools is better to be safe than sorry. So instead of like doing the bare minimum and kind of course, and there is another run by Beta Star. So Beta Star looking to be really aggressive this game, opening with the proxy 2 gate and then doing a run by here. But I mean, it is causing some lost mining time, but I don't know, it looks a little bit too aggressive to me. But Beta Star is behind this because it's Protoss, right? It's able to do what it wants. It's getting a 3rd base now. I'm just throwing some jokes out there. But yeah, it is getting a 3rd base behind this, so it's expanding in response to Xiao Yi's natural. Now, one thing that is a bit worrying to me, no tanks. Like, Beta Star has been donating Dragoons with these run-bys and everything, but there are no tanks in the field for Xiao Yi. And now we've got 4 Dragoons hammering on the bunker. It looks like some of this run-by logic might be trying to get additional Dragoons to be able to fire on the bunker. But it's actually costing Beta Star units. But okay, so now we have the tank, or the factory has lifted. There is a machine shop coming, but I think it's just too late. Like, there's just so many Dragoons being produced. Like, there's nothing to push this army back. I think the tanks just needed to come way sooner. I mean, Xiao Yi has 900 gas banked. I think it's just, you know, a bit of an issue with the build order here, that these tanks just weren't in time. But the repair on this bunker is just absolutely clutch, and Beta Star's laser focus on the bunker is really buying Xiao Yi some time here. But there's like no minerals. The workers are not really mining the natural. The main saturation is kind of iffy. So I don't even know if we'll see a tank this game. Just because Xiao Yi's just not going to have the money for it, I don't think. All the money's being sunk into keeping this bunker alive, and while that is buying time, with all of your resources going into that, I mean, look, we've had the shop for a while now. Around like 900 gas, we're up to 1300 gas already, so think the bunker's starting to show more and more signs of tear. We can kind of see the health of the bunker here. I don't think that this is gonna work out too well for Beta Star. And also, I apologize if the sound balance is a little bit off. I'm gonna check it after this game. I messed up a little bit with my setup, and it's recording the audio of the game, but I can't hear it right now, so I don't know how loud it actually is. It looks like volumes are set the way that they should be, so I think the balance will be fine, but here we see the bunker fall. Okay, now Beta Star is going to finish up this natural, and we see a Wraith. We have a tank in production. We might see a tank before this game ends, but it is rather late. And there are 30 Dragoons on the field for Beta Star. And now the workers are falling. A Wraith is out, but in a tank, there's the one tank that will see this game. Quickly sniped there by Beta Star. And good win by Beta Star. A little bit funky. Typically, like if you go proxy 2 gate, like you're gonna keep that probe around, and then the Terran's gonna need to pull more SCVs because they're gonna need to target down the gateways as opposed to the pylon. Because if you target the pylon, then the probe, since it's still there, can just throw down another probe, or sorry, throw down another pylon. And so targeting the pylon is not as effective as targeting the gateways. And sure, Protoss could probably throw down another gateway, but that's 150 minerals as opposed to 100 minerals, right? So it's more investment from the Protoss, but in the end, it ends up working out just because the tanks were so late for Xiao Yi. So let's hop into the second game. We'll see what map, if the terrain will play any difference, or maybe Beta Star will just go for a different strategy. Game 2 between these two AIs looks like it's going to take place on the same map destination. Again, the map selection works a little bit different than typical human AI tournament, or AI, if I could talk, than typical human tournaments where repeating maps are typically not allowed. In this case, repeats are allowed, as the AIs don't get to choose the map that they're going to play on. It's just randomly selected from the map pool. So looks like we've got a rematch on the map. We have opposing spawn positions, though. It looks like we will have another forward 2 gate here. Not really attempting to hide it, even just right outside the choke of the natural again. Xiao Yi's going to find it. Spawning as the red Terran, by the way, and Beta Star down at the bottom here in the, I guess that's beige Protoss. So the scout does see this, and more SCVs are getting pulled. I think it's a little bit overkill, again, to pull all of the workers, but I'm going to go ahead and target down that pylon, and since the probe did not stay, this should shut down the 2 gate pretty effectively. I mean, honestly, after killing that pylon, you could probably just kind of pull back, because, again, there's no worker to replace the pylon, so there's no real need to kill the gateways. It's interesting because, like, Xiao Yi gains a huge advantage from this, right? Because of the failed, like, that's, what, 450 minerals right there invested and gone. But because Xiao Yi pulls every single worker for it, it, like, also sets Xiao Yi back. So any advantage gained, I don't know if it might be lost, almost, right? I mean, but you know that there's going to be no aggression coming for a while. You could even expand without this bunker as an adjustment, too, after clearing that. Scouting the main and seeing that there are no units coming in. You don't even need to make a marine for a while, or maybe you just make one in case a probe scout were to come in. You could chase it out, but like you could really jumpstart your build. Maybe even going gasless expand, something like that, after you hold something like that off, and then you come in and you see that there's nothing really in the main. But the first Dragoon is out. We've got a couple of Marines in the bunker. Really, that should be 3. Okay, there's another Marine being produced. I was gonna say that should be at least 3 to really discourage the whole diving past the bunker. But I mean, without any tanks, and again, the factory is being built in a position that like it's not going to allow a machine shop without lifting. And sure, Xiao Yi has shown that it can lift the factory and move it in order to do so. The worker's not going into repair just yet. Looks like they were a bit afraid of the Dragoon. The Dragoons are again going to try this run by, but it's not really going to work. However, given enough time and enough Dragoon buildup and no tanks from Xiao Yi, Xiao Yi's going to bleed a Marine there as well, and maybe this Vulture. Vulture does survive. I've got the one damaged Dragoon from an earlier run by. Selected, that does fall. So yeah, I mean, we have the donation of units here from Beta Star. Just based on the last game, I don't think it's really going to mean all that much if Xiao Yi just doesn't field any tanks. And, yeah, like, there's barely anything mining minerals. Like, there are 5 SCVs sitting at the bunker, and yeah, there are 5. I was about to say now 6, but now there's 5 again. Dragoons there, but like, I don't know, maybe there's just the map destination is not working out well for Xiao Yi here. Because I mean, it is a little bit funky with the 2 bridges and such, and like with Beta Star being so aggressive trying to come across those bridges. But I feel like tanks and siege mode would like really resolve this situation, and just looking at everything, it's just not going to happen here. Like, the factory isn't lifted, it's still just producing vultures when there's nothing but Dragoons on the field and the vultures can't go anywhere. So I think this is going to play out in a rather similar fashion to where it's just going to keep going until Beta Star can overwhelm this bunker, break the bunker, and then Beta Star will just secure the series win that way. I mean, a lot could still happen. Like, there's a run by to get to the other side to get better position so that more Dragoons can fire on the bunker and also work on some workers. Workers are trying to do some fighting, but then that's lowering the mining. I guess that is a little bit different, is that Beta Star with these spawns was more coming across this bridge that I'm going over with the mouse right now, which was leaving the Dragoons in better position to be attacked by workers, but now some are using this lower bridge here to get onto the other side. Beta Star's taking over the map behind this too, so I don't see how Xiao Yi can really recover from this point. It just did not tech up when it needed to. I mean, it's got the shop now. It'll probably get the money, like we'll probably see 1 tank, but it was really weird last game too. Like, it teched without the machine shop. It teched up to Starport and the science facility, which was a little strange to see. And well, we are gonna see a tank, and actually the Dragoon numbers are pretty low because of the positioning of everything here. It looks like the Dragoons were more able to be taken out by the bunker. We have a tank, so maybe Xiao Yi has like an opportunity here to kind of stabilize. But like, look how much of the map Beta Star has taken behind all of this, and we're only like 12 minutes into the game. So and there's what, 1 2 3 4 5 bases up, a 6th one coming up. There's just been no threat to Beta Star to really stop it from, you know, just taking over the map. And while the Dragoon count is not as high as last game, you know, there's just the 1 tank, and there's no more tanks being produced. I think siege mode is finally underway. It's like halfway done. There's a turret going down in case of Dark Templar. That's another thing that Xiao Yi has been potentially weak to here, would be a Dark Templar. And here we have siege mode actually kind of backfiring against Xiao Yi, because that triggers Beta Star to just charge forward with the amount of all of its Dragoons. And now that all of its Dragoons are in this natural here, I think if they all target down that bunker, yeah, the bunker's going to break. And this is going to be the end of Xiao Yi's run. So just, yeah, like, really strange series to see between these two because there's the failed proxy gate, but then Xiao Yi just doesn't get the unit composition that it needs to keep Dragoon pressure off of its front. Nicely executed by Beta Star. And it will move on to face Purple Wave in round 4. Let's get the next series rolling here. Second series today, second series in the losers round 3. We have Stardust spawning as the orange Protoss down in the bottom right of Circuit Breakers, and over in the bottom left we have Willy T spawning as the brown Terran. And looking at the brackets, so after losing 3-0 to Beta Star in the winner's bracket and getting sent down to the loser's bracket, Willy T has fought its way to the losers round 3, 2-0ing each of its opponents so far. Can it keep that trend up? Let's find out now. Looks like we've got looking like a typical opening here. With a depot first. And we got a gateway coming down for Stardust, so nothing crazy like we saw the last series with the 2 gates, the proxy 2 gates. I suppose though also being a 2-player map, or sorry, 4-player map instead of 2-player map kind of makes a difference. Well, as you know, just the fact that there are different AIs playing and all that fun stuff. So looks like we have our gas, we have our barracks coming down. And we have a depot. That probe just stood there and just took those bullets from that Marine. And we have a factory coming down. The question is, will we see, because if I'm remembering right, against Beta Star in the winner's bracket, we saw like this one base play with a really heavy tank play, but like it never really did much with the tanks but stayed defensive. Looks like we might be seeing that similar play here again. And Stardust being pretty conservative here, getting a second gateway, getting range for the Dragoons. Not really moving forward, getting a third gateway on one base, so looking to be really aggressive though coming out of this. Now that the SCV is gone, well, I'm not sure if that's exactly the trigger, but we have the army moving forward. We've got the natural being taken. Siege mode not researched yet. First tank is out. Siege mode's almost done. So that should be done in time. The Protoss army is going to come up here, find the bunker, find the tank, and will smartly back off. Ooh, nice little movement of the tank there to that corner. Just to take advantage of the terrain there. So we're doing 2 factories with 2 shops off of 1 base. So it looks like this will be that heavy tank play again. I think that bunker's empty right now. Yeah, there's just 4 Marines and they're all out. So I think they can immediately go in the bunker if they need to. Siege isn't, or not Siege, sorry, yeah, Stim isn't researched, so it doesn't look like there will be an attempt to Stim and then enter the bunker. They're just out of the bunker for right now. We have an armory coming down, an academy coming down, a 3rd factory coming down on the 1 base. Big arc being formed by Stardust, though a chunk of that arc really isn't going to do much of anything. The parts that are over here. So it gets adjusted the arc a little bit so that the one end is on the top part here of the choke. Stardust, meanwhile, taking more bases. And I mean, at this point, Willy T really isn't pressuring you, so why not? And this is kind of the problem with what Willy T is trying to do here, is it's just really gas starved. So it's got like 1,500 minerals in the bank, but no gas. And, you know, that's because it's trying to pump tanks off of 3 factories here. It's starting to get some vultures, which is letting some gas build up. But it's also getting upgrades, it's getting Goliath range, it's getting +1 weapons for vehicles. So, like, yeah, it just... is really, really struggling for gas right now. There's no command center being thrown down. Like, the natural could easily be taken. What's that? That is a starport. So yeah, it could have moved forward with its army at some point. Maybe not quite right now. There's a lot of army there. Stardust doing a good job of not throwing units away to the tanks here. Not continuing to poke in with the units. Really, really staying back here. Staying safe. Just taking more map. You see it took another main. It's taking the natural there. So going up to 4. Even a 5th base. Tank gets a shot off, and the Protoss units adjust accordingly to back up. Looks like there is a little bit of a move here to the natural. Stardust not wanting to trade units for that one tank just yet. Thought about poking, but he's okay. Those tanks are still on the high ground there, so it will stay back. Let's see if Willy T is able to slow crawl to take this natural. It is getting some units now without really taking any damage. So Stardust might be starting to fall for that trap. Looks like it's going to try Zealot Bomb, which will pick a tank off, do significant damage to another tank, but not breaking through just yet. Arbiter Tech just finishing up now, the Tribunal at least. Let's see if it researches anything out of that. First Arbiter coming up here, because Stasis could be a way to break this as well. Looks like Willy T wants to take this natural, does get a worker down there now. And now that there is a command center started, it is repositioning more of the tanks here. Looks like Stardust has kind of stopped taking bases, which in this situation I think is okay. I mean, Terran is just now taking a second base, so... And you've got quite the bank now. You're, at like 200. There's one Arbiter on the way. Looks like we've got a bit of a dive here. It's just more so just like making room for more supply, right? We can get a second Arbiter. Which is now on the way. It looks like we got Arbiter Energy before the first Arbiter spawn, I believe. So that'll give it a little bit extra energy. And we are getting Stasis. Usually, though, you see Stasis researched first, because in a standard game, by the time, if you're doing like 3 base Arbiter, by the time you get that Arbiter Tech out, get an Arbiter out, and Stasis finish researches, you'll have the energy for like 1 Stasis by the time like a 2-1 timed push is coming from Terran. We've got another dive happening here. A lot of Zealots trying to come in. Some damage being done, some tanks going down. Looks like the tank positioning messing with that gas mining just a little bit, and it kind of fixes itself there as that tank freaks out. Got Willy T doing okay here. It is going to need to push out, though, for another base at some point. It has fully mined out the main. Stasis is done. Arbiter definitely... I think that Arbiter has the energy. Maybe not definitely, but looks like it has the energy for at least 1 Stasis. Stasis, I believe, is only 100 energy. Arbiters with the energy upgrade can get up to 250. Will we see a Stasis go down? There really isn't much to contest the Arbiters here. I mean, there's a couple Glass. One of the Glass stepping very far forward there. Bring down a pretty forward turret that will kind of push the Arbiters back a little bit. So Stardust Army is 24 Zealots, 20 Dragoons, and 2 Arbiters. Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing it go up to like 3 to 4 Arbiters and then just kind of stasising everything. As it is right now, Stardust is a bit afraid to engage with the Turtle Terran. Here we have another dive-in attempt. So far, no Stasis casts. I mean, Stardust has a huge bank. Stardust could start to whittle this down with trading army. Yeah, Willy T's approach here, like, it's interesting against these AIs, but, like, its supply is always so low. And then, on top of that, like, how is it going to get a third? Like, it's kind of long-distance mining now. Interesting, the dropship pick up the SCV here. We have another dive attempt, but it gets repelled. But we can see from the production tab that it's just going to very quickly get replaced here. Just watching to see this round pop out here and flow. Pretty nice SimCity there from Stardust. Pretty easy unit flow happening there. Where are the upgrades right now too? So yeah, and Willy T is stuck just at like 1-1 because again the gas, like, yeah, it took a natural, but now the main is depleted. And so it's almost like just having one base gas yet again, because it's just not taking bases in the time frames that it really needs to. And I'm really surprised there's no stasis. Like, stasis was researched. It would help with some of these dives to like maybe stasis some of the back tanks or something, but like, there's a nice juicy stasis target. Another nice juicy stasis target. The ones that are like protected by the barracks there. Another one. Behind this, Stardust is just taking more and more map. Yeah, I think Willy T is going to struggle though, again, just because it's not getting more bases. And that's really, really what it needs here. And you know, I'm fine with there just being two arbiters if it's never going to use stasis. If you're never going to cast it, well, there's no point in having more than two arbiters, really. The thing is, because of Willy T's gas situation, like, Stardust could just keep throwing 200 armies at this tank field, and eventually it'll get whittled down to nothing, and that's just simply because the rate of replacement will be so much faster for Stardust, especially with this bank. So this is kind of like, okay, Willy T's actually moving forward here. It looks like maybe Willy T wants to secure this third base. I was gonna say this might just be a repeat of Willy T against Beta Star, but Willy T's actually doing a move out here. Oh, this is an assault, actually, but that's going to leave Willy T's natural wide open. Stardust is going to seize on the opportunity here and dive in. But Willy T, oh, not committed to the attack here. Going to hit this pylon, but now pulling back to try and save the natural. And I mean, Willy T's going to be able to take this army out, I think, but Like I said, the replacement. Like, look at that. There is a command center going. Oh, actually up here. That's a bit surprising. Okay, now we have some stasis cast. So Willy T was, Stardust was just being very conservative with that. And now Willy T's army will reset in the natural here. But this base, I think, is going to be found pretty quickly by Stardust, and it's not defended at all by Willy T. Doesn't look like it is replacing the command center in the natural. So Willy T is essentially without mining bases here. Tanks getting caught out front. The whole army is not together. Yeah, things are kind of quickly falling apart here for Willy T. His third base gets chewed up by the Protoss. And Stardust is doing another dive here while taking another base. Not sure exactly which one just finished because everything is pretty much populated again. And here we can see there's just too much for the Terran army. The Stardust is going to back off for now. Willy T is now taking the natural back. Those poor tanks. They were sieged and stasis. They unstasised, so they unsieged, and then they just got stasised again. They're just kind of stuck as observers there. Now Stardust gonna go ahead and clean this up. So yeah, it was almost like a repeat of Willy T against Beta Star, but like if this worked off of taking a fast expansion from the first factory, I feel like what Willy T is doing would work a lot better if it was a bit more aggressive too with stepping out to take extra bases. But I mean, that is hard, right? Because part of the strength of Willy T's build is that there's only really one way to come in. There's only one way to come in. So where it needs to defend, it can just throw every single tank that it produces. Whereas if you start to expand, now you've got, you know, to defend here, you've got to defend this base, you've got to defend, you know, your natural and your main, or if you move over here, well, now you've got like a ramp here, and this choke point to have to defend. So that way, or this and this. So yeah, defense becomes more complicated the more bases that you take, but you kind of have to take bases usually to win. So good attempt there by Willy T. Will it be able to get a winning game too? Let's find out. Second game of the series. The arena will be Moonglaive 2.1. Willy T looking to get a reverse sweep here and take it 2-1. Starting that, though, you have to make it 1-1 in the blue Terran on the left side of the map. And up at the top of the map, in the white Protoss pieces, looking to close the series out, it is Stardust. Stardust sending out that Pylon Scout on the 3-player map. And pardon me if I sound a little stuffy and a little sniffly. Suddenly I feel like I have a case of my nose being a bit congested. So I apologize in advance for any of that comes through the microphone. But it looks like we don't have a gas steal. I was going to say, with the Pylon Scout, it would be great to see a gas steal happen. And just delay that Terran factory even longer. But it looks like that will not be the case. They both scout each other pretty quickly, though. Couldn't quite see which direction Willy T's scout went. But we'll see. Will the make tank or make tonk play work here? It's interesting when Stardust's probe gets hit, it just freezes in place, and I suspect that can't be intentional. But here we have the factory coming down, the first Dragoon is coming out, second gateway on the way. So I mean, even if it wasn't just the make tank build order here from Willy T, as I've seen it called, you would want to siege expand. Especially you see a third gateway like this. Looks like Stardust doesn't want a long game like last game, wants to maybe try to close it out quickly here. Will we see a fourth gate? Yep. Okay, so we're seeing 4 gateway goon against Terran here. The bunker's already up in the main. Although with this positioning, they're actually, the goons would take some damage, but you could get a nice arc relatively easily with these Dragoons, but you do need enough to be able to take out the bunker. Looks like siege mode is complete. And so with siege mode, Willy T is going to go ahead and push the Dragoons back. So any of a quick win is going to be lost here. And it looks like, just looking at the number of Dragoons that are out, and the fact that Stardust went ahead and took a natural here, Stardust kind of pivoted. So it got the 4 gateways, and then it realized, this is not going to work. Let me go ahead and expand first. And now I'll pump out of the 4 gateways. This natural could be got a little bit faster if the gateways weren't done first, but the gateways being done first gives it the flexibility to do one or the other. I like how there's one Dragoon just standing here, like he's happy. The rest are, or maybe he's the sad Dragoon, because the rest are dancing. So they're the happy ones, and then this is the sad one. Down here. He's been exiled He'll be a stalker pilot in the next version of StarCraft that comes out, StarCraft 2. Stardust going ahead, taking a third base here. While Willy T is making just more tanks. And there's a Goliath. Yeah, there are a few Goliaths that get made in the node. Zealots are starting to come out though for Stardust. So I am a big doofus and just noticed that I had myself muted from about the middle of the Willy T game. So, whoops. I can't really fix that now because I've seen the game, so any commentary I do will be knowing the outcome of the games and stuff like that if I tried to redo them, so I'm just going to let that live as it is, and I'm sorry that happened. I think I muted my microphone when I had a cough, and I thought I unmuted it, but apparently I did not after that. So I'm really, really, really sorry about that. Some information I dropped when this series started up. We have 4 Protoss players left in the tournament, and they're all in this round. We have 1 Terran left, that's Crazio. 1 Zerg left, that's Monster. Willy T had an excellent showing this year. I hope we get to see it again. It seems like its TVP build is a little bit funky, but really, like, just some small tweaks I think could make it a bit better, though I don't know how ultimately strong it can be long term. But, you know, I hope we get to see it again next year. So, you know, good fight there by Willy T getting knocked out of the tournament. Last game was really cool to see Purple Wave, you know, get that Observer after seeing the Dark Templar. A little bit of miscontrol with the Observer, but ultimately all it cost was a pylon, right? And then Beta Star just did not have units. A couple of quick things that I wanted to open this game with. We've got Purple Wave as the orange Protoss up at the top of Destination, and Beta Star fighting to stay alive down at the bottom in the yellow Protoss. So Purple Wave, outside of this series, has played 2 PvPs in this elimination bracket and has won both of those. Beta Star prior to this series has played 1 PvP, and that's what knocked it down into the losers bracket. So just an interesting little thing to see there. Looks like Purple Wave going for very quick Reaver here this game, instead of last game where it was getting a lot of units. Got Reavers pretty late, but this will, oh, and it does get an Observer. Wait, I thought it was getting a Reaver. Oh, it was just the Bay. The Bay was made, okay. Yeah, the Bay was what I saw in the thing, but it already has an Observer out. These Dark Templar are going to try and come up here, but like I said, there's already Observer, but there needs to be Army. And where's the Observer? Purple Wave? You have a Reaver. You have an Observer out. Okay, so some probes are falling. How? Okay, there was an Observer over on the left side there, finally. Wait, was the Observer circling in the probes the whole time? Possibly. It looks like Purple Wave is very, very conservative with its first Observer. Now, army count-wise, though, because Purple Wave has gone for that really fast tech, they're about equal after these builds are executed. A little bit of damage taken from that DT. A few probes were lost. And actually, I'm not sure what's happening here. Okay, Purple Wave may be getting a little bit confused with what it was trying to do with taking that natural, and that could cost it. But it is able, with the Reaver Shuttle tech advantage, to push Beta Star back. Maybe a bit of an overextension here, as there are a lot of Dragoons here. Purple Wave handling that bridge pretty nicely, though, with its unit movements, and that... Oh, the Reaver's got to get caught. Which is really unfortunate, because that was Purple Wave's advantage here. Now, Beta Star is going to push Purple Wave back. Looks like he's going to push him across the bridge here. Beta Star doing a good job with this push, pulling back. Managed to make that first shot a dud, but then take some damage from the Reaver subsequently. And we'll get pushed back here. Maybe trying to push across this bridge again. I don't know if I like this move. Oh, picks off the Reaver before it can fire a shot off, though. Nicely done. Another Reaver coming out here. Beta Star behind this, just throwing down some more gateways, throwing down some more Dragoons. I don't know if Beta Star's going to take a third at some point here. It will need to if this continues to drag on. Purple Wave is getting decent enough numbers in a good enough position where it's able to really stabilize and hold this natural now. And yeah, so I think there's 3 rivers out right now. Yeah, 3 rivers out, but only 1 shuttle, 4 purple wave. But Beta Star's not getting across this bridge, at least not easily. Does have a lot more Dragoons though, but I think the 3 Reavers and plus the terrain is really going to be the game changer here. But Purple Wave needs to be careful with trying to move across this bridge because Beta Star does have the superior Dragoon numbers right now. But both players are still just on 2 bases, so it doesn't feel like Purple Wave is really like that far behind or anything. Citadel coming down. We have that Reaver getting caught a bit forward. Purple Wave needs to be careful with its Reavers. These Dragoons are trying to dive on the Reaver, I think, but they couldn't quite do it, so they were taking some free damage there. Second shuttle out now to juggle the 3 Reavers for Purple Wave. It's like Purple Wave is trying to come across the bridge here, but Stardust, Beta Star is going to pounce right on that. A lot of goons falling here, but there's still 34 Dragoons out on the field for Beta Star. Beta Star is now taking a third over on the left side of the map. So now I think once that third gets up, yeah, Beta Star here now fighting across the bridge, trying to target down those Reavers. And there's no Reaver on the field currently, but Beta Star going to go ahead and back up as its numbers were getting a bit low there. It is tough to fight across those 2 bridges. Yeah, the main is mined out now for Purple Wave and for Beta Star. So I think Beta Star at the moment has the advantage with that third base. Purple Wave is going to need to fight across this bridge and take a third. Or, I mean, it did mine this out. It could take a third over here. So it does have an option to take an easy mineral-only third, but it doesn't look to be the case that it's taking it. Beta Star was checking for that too. It looks like has 3 Dragoons over there on that right side, checking those bases out. Beta Star trying to fight across this bridge again, which it's losing numbers heavily here. And actually, ooh, I like the Dark Templar coming out. Is there? I don't think there's even a robotics facility out for Beta Star. These Dark Templar could really, really help here. Because there's like no detection, but Purple Wave needs to be careful. Needs to kind of keep... Oh, Beta Star sees the Dark Templar, I think, and is fully pulling back now. This is going to allow Purple Wave to get onto the map and maybe get another base. Purple Wave is charging across and looks to be trying to get and take this third here. Doing some long distance mining as well. Actually, it spent all of its money right now on a Reaver and some Zealots. So it's not building a Nexus. Where are the Dark Templar? So the Dark Templar over here at the third, wrecking as many probes as they can. Ooh, that shuttle gets picked off. I hope that did not have a Reaver in it. It might have, though. But there is a Reaver with the army. We have some High Templars coming out, which is good to see. AI storm dodging is extremely good. And this 4th base is going to fall here for Beta Star. It's not going to be long before there are some... Oh, well, wait a second. Only 1 mining base. Is Beta Star even going to be able to get an observer out? If Purple Wave can shut... Okay, 1 observer is going to come out, but Beta Star's going to have no workers. This could be a crazy turnaround here. It has no money. There's one probe long distance. Oh, if Purple Wave gets that probe. There are 2 probes on the field right now. Good storms. There's no dodging those storms. Purple Wave just needs to be careful because Purple Wave's got just the one mining base too. Yeah, Beta Star, like, look at that production queue. There's nothing in it. There's one worker. Where is the worker? I think Purple Wave's done it. Well, I am very glad that I noticed the mic problem and fixed it with this game here, because, wow. Purple Wave is taking trying to take a 5th base here. Some High Templar are falling. The thing is that Purple Wave's money is a little bit low, but like Beta Star has no money. 26 minerals. There's one worker somewhere. I don't know where it is. I can't find it. Oh, there it is. It's long distance mining from over here. But that's not going to do it any good. I'd love to see this observer if this observer gets sniped. There we go. Now the Dark Templar, as long as they don't wander into a cannon, they're pretty free. But yeah, very, very nicely done by Purple Wave here. I liked its other opening against what Beta Star was doing a bit better, what it did in game 1. Like I said, it went unit heavy first, so that way, and Beta Star teched up, so that way when the tech failed for Beta Star, Purple Wave just had the larger army. But in this case, the double bridge here, terrain feature, really worked to Purple Wave's favor. That, along with the Reavers, like, really helped it. And then the DTs allowed it to break out when Purple Wave realized that there were no observers in the army for Beta Star. So nice 2-0 win. Looks like Beta Star will be knocked out of the tournament. Looks like PvP was its weakness this year. Purple Wave continuing its undefeated PvP streak here this year in the tournament. And it'll have one more PvP as our next series. Is another Protoss versus Protoss, and the winner of that's gonna face Purple Wave. So yeah, a whole lot of Protoss action today. The Screaming Bird runs away from the Protoss on Protoss destruction here. But yeah, wow, what a game. And again, I want to apologize again for the muted microphone issue there, and like game and a half that had no commentary. I'm annoyed at myself. I don't know when I muted the microphone, but I did not unmute it. I mean, I know when it happened, right? You know what I mean. I thought I had unmuted it. Purple Wave going to clean out a few of the buildings that are out on the map. Yeah, nicely done here by Purple Wave. And once Purple Wave is done cleaning up the buildings here, we will get our last series of the day going. Oh, there's a simulator up here too. Game 1 of our final series today will take place on Andromeda. We have Banana Brain spawning as the TL Protoss up at the top left. Stardust spawning as the blue Protoss down at the bottom right. Unfortunately, I can't get an updated graphic here, as the site I'm using for this is giving me a 503 back-end bad fetch all of a sudden. So just imagine, though, that says Purple Wave 2 and Beta Star 0. We've got Banana Brain against Stardust going on here. So like I said, another Protoss versus Protoss, and this will determine what the next Protoss versus Protoss will be in round 5 of the losers bracket. Looks like, again, similar to game 1 of Purple Wave and Beta Star, we have similar builds, although we have another pylon coming down for Banana Brain that is not coming down for Stardust. Stardust may be looking to do like... Okay, no, the pylon is coming down now. So maybe a bit of a better optimization for Stardust there. But they get to the same place. Zealot going ahead and chasing the Scout. Whereas the Banana Brain Scout is being ignored by Stardust here. So 2 Zealots out for Banana Brain, only 1 for Stardust. And the Dragoon production has begun. Scout gets caught there. And Stardust will probably clean up Banana Brain Scout with the Dragoon. That'll pop out here in just a moment. Yeah, and then goes and chases that down. We got cross spawn here, so pretty far distance between the 2 AIs. Looks like we're getting a 4-gate out of Banana Brain. And Stardust is also going up to 4 gateways as well. Banana Brain's going to get there a little bit faster, so might have a little bit of an advantage. And Stardust is coming across the map here, so Banana Brain will have the defender's advantage here. At least while these units are out here. The only difference between these 2 armies is 1 Zealot. Well, now there's 2 additional Dragoons. There's 1 more for Stardust. So Stardust could try to sit at the bottom of this ramp because Banana Brain has not come down it yet, so that will be a little tricky to fight down with just pure goons. You get a nice arc. You do have to be careful, though, because there are spots on high ground where you could potentially get hit, but looks like Banana Brain's going to try and charge down here, and Stardust is actually going to let Banana Brain take it. I'm going to go ahead and just fall back here. Then yeah, Stardust, or Banana Brain's army not really doing a good job coming down the ramp and sticking together. But ultimately, I'm going to try and follow this battle a bit here as this battle is moving a bit dynamically down the map towards Stardust space. And yeah, Banana Brain just getting the better end of these exchanges, it looks like. And getting those gateways a little bit quicker has a little bit more of an advantage. Going ahead and getting a forge. It's a good idea just in case your opponent was taking too Dark Templar rather. I wouldn't mind seeing Banana Brain also expanding behind this as well. It's now in its opponent's natural. It has 500 minerals. The natural could go up. There's really no need to push up this ramp at the moment. I mean, one thing with Andromeda is there is the mineral-only high ground base up above the ramp. But this donation of Dragoons is sort of allowing Stardust an opportunity. Ooh, but now Stardust donating a few. Partially coming down the ramp. But yeah, this mineral-only could make things go a little bit longer because... yeah, if the main mine's out, like you can still take this and you have minerals. But gas is going to be, I think, the big equalizer here. I'm going to move this a little bit because it's like... okay. Just when I was on the army, I was kind of going down a bit. But yeah, I think Banana Brain is going to win this long term. It looks like it is taking the natural now, so that's good to see. And Stardust is going to be on this base that's sort of mining out here Interesting that there's a lot of workers that are just idle in the mineral line. I guess they're not really needed for like efficiency of mining, but yeah, anytime Stardust is trying to move down to that natural area, it's just being denied and pushed back. Banana Brain's still just on the 4 gateways though, which is kind of interesting to see. It has Reaver Tech now, getting the Citadel of Adun and starting to mix in some Zealots. The upgrades, I'm just wondering. No upgrades on any of the units out of Forges. It's just interesting to see. I would think that at least like weapons and maybe armor would be good. But it doesn't really matter if neither player is getting upgrades, then that's the same as being on equal upgrades, just about, right? With an observer on the field, Banana Brain's going to be a little bit better at seeing the units and the buildings on the high ground and be able to do a little bit of damage to it. I like that little juke that one going north did to avoid that cannon. Yeah, there are more gateways thrown down for Stardust, but I think, yeah, it's gone up to 6, but it's like stuck on this one base. And I think Stardust is the one we saw kind of do that earlier in the tournament, where it got 6, might have been against Purple Wave, I think, where it just got the 6 gateways, but was like on one base and couldn't even produce out of all 6. And really the big choking point for well, now I think it's trying to keep money for a Nexus, but also just gas. I mean, Dragoons, I think, are 25 gas, maybe 50. But still, like, when you're on just one geyser, that is enough to produce out of, like, 4 gateways, but I don't think you can produce out of 6 with that, with 1 gas income. Then do pure Dragoon. Yeah, it looks like Stardust is mined out now. I don't see the minerals going up. Yep, it is mined out. It's going to keep this 400 in the bank for a Nexus, so no more units are going to come out probably for Stardust until like maybe last-ditch effort to try and stop dying. Banana Brain's taking some more bases. It's up to 4 bases. Taking a 5th here. I don't know if my microphone picked that up or not, but what I have it attached to shifted a little bit. But yeah, so Banana Brain is going to jump out here. We might be able to get a map that'll maybe work a bit more in Stardust's favor in game 2. But Banana Brain, nicely done here. Gonna jump out 1-0 ahead of Stardust. Here we have the Shuttle Reaver. Would be kind of cool to see Shuttle Reaver against Shuttle Reaver if we get Banana Brain up against Purple Wave. Hopefully the website I'm using the bracket for is working. We'll see, but let's go ahead and get our second game loaded up here. The second arena in this series is going to be Moonglaive, one that I feel like we've been seeing a fair bit. We've got Stardust spawning as the brown Protoss on the left side, and Banana Brain spawning as the red Protoss up at the top of the map. Banana Brain looking to close the series out 2-0 to go on and face Purple Wave in round 5. Stardust looking to tie things up to stay alive at 1-1 in the series. Again, it looks like we're seeing similar builds coming out of the tube. In-base pylon, probes, in-base gateway. And yeah, I mean, at the very beginning, you don't expect to see too much divergence, but we could see a second gateway from somebody, which we're not seeing. So it is all right. Zealot coming out. for Banana Brain and for Stardust now. Got the probe going around, circling the base. Zealot's not going to bother chasing it. It is skipping leg day. But the Zealot of Banana Brain is not skipping leg day and is giving that probe a bit of a chase. Dragoon out for Stardust. First Dragoon also out now for Banana Brain. Should be able to catch down that scout. And it looks like we are getting the 4 Gateway Goon out of both of the AIs here. Or actually, hello. Okay, Stardust going for 3 Gateways and getting a Citadel. So I suspect we'll see like some 3 Gateway Goon production, and then we'll see perhaps some Dark Templars come out. Which I think is good to see something, a different opening coming out of Stardust here, because I think that's going to give it a shot to get a win here. Templar Archives on the way down. There's no detection out for Banana Brain right now. If Stardust can get some Dark Templar into Banana Brain's main, and just start killing the probes before there's even a robotics facility down, that would be huge. Stardust is getting a forge of their own. There's no forge, no detection anytime soon for Banana Brain. Banana Brain sees the Dark Templar and is immediately going to fall back. Now, Banana Brain has a large army. It's throwing down a forge now so it can get some cannons. It can gum up this ramp for quite a while with these Dragoons. Sacrifice some Dragoons. Stardust trying to get up there, but there is now a cannon started, and with the large army and the ramp block, Banana Brain is able to fend off these Dark Templar. Unfortunate for Stardust. And there, the cannon at the top of the ramp finishes. And the Dark Templar will fall. Banana Brain's also going to go ahead and work towards observers so that we can have some mobile detection, but it is moving out even without observers, but oof, its units kind of get caught in a line there by Stardust, so Stardust is able to take a large chunk of Banana Brain's army and actually take the Dragoon lead, the Dragoon count advantage, which I don't think it had in Game 1. Right down another gateway back home. Stardust is also taking its natural and looks to be taking a 3rd here with this probe. And there's the Nexus. So now the roles have kind of reversed here. We have Stardust denying Banana Brain's natural while taking bases on the map. Looks like Banana Brain really wants to take that natural. There was a probe with some gas that came down, got sniped. The Nexus will get started. Okay, it looks like Banana Brain is able to fight this back. Both sides have observers out, so Dark Templar's not going to, at least to the army, directly do anything. So we're going to go back a little bit further, but it looks like Stardust trying to fight up at the top of this ramp will push Banana Brain back. So the observers get picked off. And yeah, Banana Brain is pushed back all the way into its main again. Banana Brain overextending itself a little bit here. Did tech up to Reavers now, but the natural is going to fall. Oof, that's a big hit for Banana Brain. That main is almost mined out, but now Stardust may be extending a little further than it should. Trying to go up that ramp. And now I'll content to sit back, which I think is the good move. And just sort of, anytime Banana Brain tries to step down, just give some harassment there. Push those units back. There's no real need to try and go up the ramp at the moment. And now Banana Brain is just donating probes one at a time. And it looks like Stardust will tie the series up, and we'll get our first game 3 of today. And honestly, I don't know which of these two is going to move on. Like, I suspected Banana Brain was going to be able to 2-0 this given the way that game 1 went. But now, I'm not really sure. Both of these AIs are very capable of beating each other. I feel like game 3 really could go either way. Stardust taking over the entire bottom half of the map here. A lot of death and blue goop going on. A lot of Dragoon death, that is. And so, yeah, Stardust ties it up 1-1. We'll get one more game in today, game 3, which will decide which of these two gets to face Purple Wave in round 5. Let's get it loaded up. And it looks like, unfortunately, the bracket website is still inaccessible. So I'm not going to be able to do an updated graphic for the this game or the end of this game. But we can still talk about what's going on. So we've got Stardust spawning as the white Protoss looking to win the series 2-1. And Banana Brain also looking to win the series 2-1. Spawning as the purple Protoss on the left side. And we are on Icarus, which is an interesting map because there's a lot of space in the natural here. So I feel like whichever AI is able to again get that like you're on one base type of contain it's going to be even more powerful on this map. I could be wrong though, but like you're just able, I feel like, to get a really nice, really strong arc here on this ramp. And so if you just kind of get stuck up that ramp, you are not going to be coming down very easily. Two probes meet, bump heads, and continue along their ways. I feel like we're seeing the same builds again out of these two, but I mean, we did see actually Stardust do something a little bit different where it went for the Dark Templar off of 3 gateways. And it had success with that, so we'll see if it chooses to do that again. I think that would be a good move. Probe gets chased out, looking to come back in. But if the Zealots position themselves on the ramp, they can block it. Actually, yeah, the probe just doesn't get caught there. Both of them got 2 Zealots this time, which is a little bit interesting. It looks like, okay, we've got a pylon and a gateway, so I think we might see the same. Is there going to be a citadel? No. So it looks like Stardust is going with the 4-gate goon that it went with in game 1. But Banana Brain's 4-gate goon feels a little bit smoother because those 3 gateways finish at about the same time, which is the way that I've learned 4-gate goon is supposed to go as a human player. But Stardust falling back here. The Defender's advantage, they're on like equal Dragoon counts, but if you notice, there's only 5 Dragoons here for Stardust. Now a 6th joins in, and so the travel distance may give Banana Brain the advantage to be able to bust out if Stardust starts to lose some Dragoons. And that could be a problem here, as yeah, Stardust is going to fall back. If Stardust falls all the way back into its main as opposed to trying to defend that natural choke, I think that's going to be a problem for it. I don't know if it's going to be able to break out again. This is an interestingly shaped map, though, because there is this edge of the high ground that is the base of Stardust, where perhaps some additional damage could be dealt by Dragoons from Stardust onto Banana Brains. But now Banana Brain kind of has the contain on Stardust, though the Dragoons are creating their arc in an interesting spot, which makes it kind of feel like Stardust could still get an advantage. Is throwing down the Templar Archive, so it might be able to get some Dragoons to push this, or sorry, not Dragoons, some Dark Templar to push this back. But Banana Brain's going to kind of try and make a move here. Actually might take out a pylon and that cannon. The Dark Templar are about to come out, which could push Banana Brain back. And if last time we saw that Banana Brain just had enough units to really gum up its ramp, not let the Dark Templar out. I like kind of the fallback of the Dragoons as well to try and let the Dark Templar out. But in this case, there's only the one Dark Templar getting out. And it looks like Banana Brain already have the Forge at this point in this game, so going to be able, I think, to deflect this Dark Templar. There's so many Dragoons there. Yeah, the moment it gets seen, it gets taken out in one shot. Very unfortunate for that Dark Templar. And the second Dark Templar didn't quite make its way out of the base. Still trying to make its way out of the base, it looks like. There it goes, able to do so. Having to walk around the long way. And it looks like we're going to get a nice big Dragoon on Dragoon fight here. Banana Brain kind of retreats and gives Stardust a nice setup here. Banana Brain not standing its ground, which is pretty interesting. It had the superior Dragoon numbers and really allows Stardust to just overrun this natural. Cannon gets taken out, that was on top there, but an Observer is going to be coming out here for Banana Brain. So this Dragoon, or this Dark Templar rather, will have a little bit of playtime in Banana Brain's main, but now the Observer is out and will go ahead and detect that Dark Templar and deflect it. Yeah, this is interesting. I didn't expect, because Banana Brain just had the better goon numbers. I thought Banana Brain was going to be able to repel that attack, but Stardust, you know, took the ground that Banana Brain allowed it and pushed Banana Brain off of the natural here. Now, Banana Brain trying to get some Zealots in the mix here, which is giving Stardust the goon advantage. And Stardust might have this game. It's going to be able to get up this ramp here. It needs to... Oh, no, stick with the aggression. Stick with the aggression. Get up there. Well, I guess actually this isn't too bad either. Getting a more proper arc here on the ramp. Now trying to go ahead and move up. Yeah, third base being taken up in that top right of the map. It's just like 30 plus Dragoons. Would love to see this Dragoon army just kind of move up onto this high ground and just start clearing the base, but seems like it will take a moment to get up here. It's very much preferring to just sit back at the bottom of the ramp, which is also a good move too. I mean, you can easily, we've seen both of these AIs do overly extend themselves and it costs them. So the more cautious play, while not necessarily needed, is a safer way to make sure that you don't just flat out lose. Got Banana Brain stopping unit production here because it wants to keep enough minerals for a Nexus since the main is mined out, but very nicely done by Stardust. Very fun series overall today to watch. Stardust is going to go on to the next round to face Purple Wave. And Banana Brain gives the GG and doesn't make Stardust clear all of the buildings. But we'll look at this real quick here. I know, like I said, I can't update this, unfortunately, because the site is down at the moment. But Purple Wave went 2-0 against Beta Star, and then we had Stardust here go 2-1 up against Banana Brain. So Our next cast is going to start off with Purple Wave up against Stardust in round 5. Very exciting. I don't quite remember how we're going to break up the next casts, but we're getting pretty close to the finals, and the finals might be a duo cast, so hopefully we can make that happen. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Sorry for the technical difficulties here on the final half of this cast with the muted microphone, and then, you know, the bracket site not being up and working. Really sorry about that, but we thank you for your patience and for, you know, tuning in and watching and your support. We do really appreciate that. We'll catch you next time, next week. Until then, take care.